for dedicating your Saturday to community service. We're super excited to get started here today. So without further ado, I'll give the floor to Paige and Karen to introduce themselves and chat a little bit more about what we have in store for you all today.
Awesome, thank you. So my name is Paige Newman. I'm a research and instruction librarian at WPI. And Karen, do you want to introduce yourself? Oh, you're showing me.
So my name's Karen Coughlin, and I'm also a research and instruction librarian at WPI and a former STEM teacher.
And we are going to be talking to you about citizen science, and we're very excited. We have a lot to talk about. I think
can you share slides?
Screen sharing. All right. So we will be sending out these slides to everyone afterwards, so don't worry about writing everything down. And we do have our email addresses on the slides, so if you have any questions afterwards, definitely feel free to get in touch with us.
And the links will also be active, so you can click right on them. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit what is citizen science. Then we'll talk about finding citizen science projects, how you can find them, and then a couple of our project examples that we thought were really interesting and that we hope you guys find interesting also. Next slide.
All right, so what is citizen science? A little bit of an interesting history with this term. It was coined in the 1990s by Alan Irwin in the UK and by Rick Bonney in the US. So they coined it independently, both around 1995. Alan Irwin defines citizen science both as science which assists the needs and concerns of citizens and as a form of science developed and enacted by citizens themselves. And Rick Bonney used the term to refer to scientist-driven public research projects. And what's really cool is that in 2014, it was added to the Oxford English Dictionary, defined as scientific work undertaken by members of the general public, often in collaboration with or under the direction of professional scientists and scientific institutions. So most of the projects that we're going to look at today are going to fall under that definition at the bottom, where there are professional scientists or scientific institutions who are leading these projects and looking for volunteers to help out with them. So the volunteers are the citizen scientists. A couple other definitions. It's a kind of a complicated term, so it gets lots of definitions. So I threw these on here. I won't read them all out loud right now. Again, you'll get the slides afterwards. But the general theme is that it's professional and volunteer scientists working together on projects. And generally, for the volunteers, this is unpaid work. And there's also a newer term called community science. So I want to bring this up because this is a term that you might run into as you're looking for projects to work on. Some people use this term in order to avoid any confusion with the legal definition of the word citizen. It's often used as a synonym for citizen science. So you might see community science and citizen science used interchangeably. Some researchers, some organizations do view them as separate terms. So for example, Heidi Ballard from UC Davis sees citizen science as projects led by a scientist where people participate because they want to help, so like we were just talking about. And she views community science as research driven by people in the community, often with a social justice or environmental concern. And then the National Institutes of Health sort of takes the opposite approach, where they see citizen science as driven by community concerns and community engaged research as driven by academic concerns. So all that to say, just when you find a project and it's labeled citizen science or community science, you might want to just take a minute to look at who's organizing it and how do they define those terms, so you have a sense of what you're getting to. Again, they're often used interchangeably and all the definitions are good. They're all good things to get involved in.
Excellent. So why become a citizen scientist? Hopefully I'm unmuted. Good. So basically, you're helping contribute to scientific knowledge. You can be a part of a local or global science projects. These are projects that may not be funded by NIH or funded anywhere else. For example, there's a water quality study that's been being part of Lake Winnipesaukee that's been going on for 20 years, where people go out and actually test the pH of the water. And there's something like that would never be funded because it's just over too long of a period of time. And it's people who actually live there, so they're kind of curious about what's going on with the lake. You can choose your own level of commitment. It might be you're going on vacation, or you want to go for a hike, and you can find a citizen science project that actually might be something that's where you're going. Or you can get really involved, like testing mosquitoes in your backyard, or lake water, or just whatever you can see. It's a chance to learn something new. Well, one of the projects we'll be talking about is an app where you can actually take a picture of different tree leaves and insects or different things, and actually will help give the identification. And this is for many different things. And it's a way to relax, de-stress, and you're actually helping bring up the scientific knowledge in the world, so, and helping your community. And next slide.
So we have,
You go.
we have listed here a few different discovery platforms that we're going to look at today to help you find some of these projects to get involved in. So we've got SciStarter, Zooniverse, and iNaturalist. So we'll take a few minutes on each of those.
So this is actually one of my favorite databases to help find a project. Is SciStarter.com, and it actually uses, and you're actually using the science to address global and local problems. You can plug in by keywords. So if you have a particular liking of the stars, or maybe fish or turtles, I saw a cute little turtle, or maybe dogs or cats, you can actually plug in by topic. And some of these can be outside, and some of these can be right from your own inside on the computer. So if it's raining and you're bored, you can just do something inside too. And you can still definitely contribute. Can I see the next slide? So this is an example of one of the online programs. It's actually called G-Sort. It's from the University of Manitoba, and it's actually you're playing a video game and answering some questions online. And you actually you're solving puzzles with different difficulty, and basically figuring out ways to like match different geocodes. It actually ends up being a lot of fun. And then you have like it's a survey. Did you have fun or did you not? And this is actually, you're putting together different genomes together in this game, and kind of like viruses. And I don't know if you can see, that's DNA. So it's kind of fun. Can I see the next slide, please? And then for the summertime, this is actually one that I'm involved in right now. And this is called the Coastal Observer. So it's a way to engage citizens to monitor the weather and the water in our environment. And sometimes if you're going to the beach, or maybe a pond, or going swimming, you can actually be part of this. And basically, you can just download the Coastal Observer app on your iPhone or on an Android phone. And you basically are taking pictures. And this actually picture below is actually from Chatham Light. And that's the beach. And actually, that's where you're finding a lot of the sharks right now, because there's a seal colony. And we were actually doing it to take pictures of the weather for that day. And as you can see, the flag is, it was windy and overcast, very humid. And I have a little short 50-second video that will tell a little bit more about it.
Do you enjoy spending time in the great outdoors? Have you noticed recent changes in your environment? Do you wonder how you could help your community become more resilient? Have your voice heard? Download the Coastal Observer app on your mobile device.
Can you put on the
what you experience.
The closed captions?
Your observations are shared to an interactive map where you can view the reports of other observers. It's simple to use. Describing what you see takes just a few clicks. Tap the plus sign to begin and describe what you're seeing. Save your response and presto, you're a citizen scientist. Use the app to report flooding, polluted water, or even the weather. If you want to be more specific or gather physical data, there are options for that as well. Become a steward of your community and record. You can be a citizen scientist too.
Thank you very much for showing that video. I just wanted you guys to see that it can be very, it's not just the ocean. It can be streams, it can be ponds, it can be actually clouds up in the air if you're curious what type of cloud that is. So it's many different things. All right, next slide.
All right, so I want to talk a bit about Zooniverse. So as we saw with SciStarter.com, you can find projects both in person and online. And Zooniverse.org is all about finding online projects. And if any of you came to our earlier session on transcription projects, you'll be familiar with Zooniverse because we looked at that platform then. So today we're going to focus on the science projects available on Zooniverse, which is a large online platform for crowdsourced research projects. More than 1 million people have used Zooniverse to help professional researchers. It gives you a chance to contribute to real academic research on your computer at your convenience, and you can browse by discipline to find a project that you're interested in. So as you can see, our Zooniverse has projects in biology, climate, medicine, nature, physics, and space. So you can choose a discipline, choose a project to get involved in. And I've got an example project here. This is one of my favorite projects on Zooniverse. It's called Snapshot Serengeti, and there are actually a series of projects on Zooniverse called Snapshot, and they're based in different parts of Africa, and they help with understanding the wildlife, the wild animals of Africa, looking at relationships between the animals, especially predator-prey relationships. And basically it's set up so that there are these cameras all over, in this case, the Serengeti, that are triggered by movement. So when an animal walks by, the camera takes an image. And so the researchers for this project have so many images that they need to go through, and they can't go through them all alone. So that's why they've crowdsourced it. And this gives you a chance to go through the images and help identify the animals. And this is really cool because this helps you help the researchers. It helps the researchers identify the animals, which, we have AI to help identify images, but it's still not quite at the level that these researchers need to get precise image identifications, which is why they need real people, real eyes on the screen to look at these images and identify them. And it's, if I can pull it up. What I like about Zooniverse is it's a nice, pretty user-friendly platform that you can get involved in. And so as you go to, in this case, Snapshot Serengeti, you can go to classify, and it gives you a tutorial that you can go through to learn how to do this classification. So it'll walk you through all the steps, and then you get your image. And this so it's very difficult. This one, they got a very blurry image. So what you can do here is they do like it if you can take a guess. Even if you're not sure, a guess is better than nothing. If you really don't want to guess, you can always hit refresh, get another image. But like Karen was saying, the citizen science gives you a chance to learn in addition to helping these researchers. So as you're going through this, it gives you all the animals over here that it might be. There's a field guide, so you can learn about the different animals. And then when you pick an animal, it will tell you about it. It will give you some images so you can say, did I pick the right one, or should I go back and pick another animal? So as you're going through this, you get to not only help the scientists, you get to learn about all these animals and their different markings and how to identify them. So it's really fun and relaxing. And again, Zooniverse has so many different kinds of projects. There's not just animals, there's all different subjects that you can get involved in. There are some really cool ones on here related to physics and space. If you want to get involved in identifying galaxies, there are some really fun ones where you get to identify the different shapes of the galaxies and help the researchers that way. So just a fun platform to find some cool projects on. There we go. And of course, there's an app for that. So there's an app for citizen science. It's called iNaturalist. And this is an app that comes from the California Academy of Sciences and the National Geographic Society. This helps you identify the plants and animals around you. So you can, once you download the app, you can go outside, you take a picture, you share the picture, you can discuss it with other people in the app. What's really nice about this app is after you take a picture, it will give you suggestions as to what they think it is. So you might take a picture of a plant and the app will pop up with suggestions like, oh, we think it's in this family. We think it might be this one. It will give you like the top 10 plants it thinks it is. It will give you images of those different suggestions, and it will tell you which of those have also been identified nearby. So that can help you with your identification. And you get to learn about all these things. I've been using this app for a while, and I'm learning all these new plant names that I didn't know before, which is super fun. And if you really don't know what it is, you can upload an unidentified image, and other users can chime in with suggestions on your picture. And the point of all this is you record and share your images and observations, and this data actually gets shared with scientists with data repositories like the Global Biodiversity Information Facility, so that scientists can go into that database and use the data, the images that you're collecting and adding to the app. And actually this one also, we have a short video. I'm gonna pump up the volume, hope that helps. Turn on the closed caption.
Okay, so you've installed the iNaturalist app and created an account. Time to get outside and record your first observation. Here's how to do it. Any living thing, like a plant, animal, or fungus, can be an observation on iNaturalist. Once you find something you'd like to record, just tap Observe and take a photo. You can review your picture, then hit Next if it looks good. To identify it, hit What did you see? If you have an internet connection, iNaturalist will suggest 10 visually similar species and often a common ancestor. You can choose one of those or search for a species name. On this observation details screen, you can add more photos of the same organism or write a note. The date, time, and location have been automatically added. You can also change the geoprivacy of the observation, mark whether it's captive or cultivated, or add it to a project. Once you're finished, just hit Share, and your observation will be uploaded for everyone to see and identify. That's it. Keep on exploring and sharing.
So yeah, I think it's fairly straightforward, user-friendly, and it gets you outside, which is great. Especially right now, I think some of us need an excuse to get outside, go for a walk. So if it's safe for you to do so, the iNaturalist app can be a great motivation for getting outside for a little bit. And there are also projects on iNaturalist. So to get involved in iNaturalist, you can do what we just saw. You can go outside, take pictures, add it to the general data repository, or you can choose a particular project to get involved in. And you can browse projects on the website, and you can search by keyword to try to find projects in geographic areas or on topics that interest you. Or if you have the app on your phone, if you click on More, then Projects, then Nearby, it will actually tell you projects that are right near you geographically, so you can get involved in those. And I recommend when you find a project, read the About section, see who created the project, what their goals are. Really, any iNaturalist user can create a project, so you want to learn a little bit more about it before you get involved. And you can also search for projects by particular organizations. So for example, the Mass Audubon Society has many projects on iNaturalist. So you could search for Mass Audubon and get involved in one of their projects. One project I found that looked really interesting was this project called Mimic, which is the Marine Invader Monitoring and Information Collaborative. So if you're in New England, if you're near the coast, you can go to the shoreline, to docks and tide pools in New England, and add images of the species that you see there. And this project comes out of the Massachusetts Office of Coastal Zone Management. So you can see who's using the data and why. And another project you might be interested in, I thought this was really interesting. This is a project we found that actually spans a couple of these different platforms. So I was looking up for projects on SciStarter, and I found this squirrel mapper project on SciStarter, and it turns out they use the iNaturalist app for their project, so you can log in through iNaturalist and you can get involved in taking pictures of squirrels in North America. So this project is focused on looking at squirrels in North America, particularly gray and black squirrels, and trying to figure out the decline in black squirrels and why that's happening. So you can go on iNaturalist, get outside, take pictures of squirrels in your neighborhood if you live in North America. And then they also have a collaboration with Zooniverse, where we saw the Snapshot Serengeti project, where you can log on to Zooniverse and you can help identify these squirrels, say if they're gray, if they're brown, if they have, I think you look at their under fur on their bellies and what color that is. Currently, all the photos that have been added to Zooniverse are done. They've all been categorized by volunteers, so that's currently complete. However, the iNaturalist project is still going, so you can still add photos to their database, and then eventually those will go onto Zooniverse, and that project will likely open up again on Zooniverse as more and more people add photos to the iNaturalist platform. So just sort of this interesting way to see how these different platforms can all work together on the same project. And there's even a game you can play, Find the Squirrel, which is so fun. They give you images of squirrels in different areas, either on a city street or in a forest, and you have to find the squirrel. And it's actually, some of them are very difficult. They're very good at blending in some of these pictures, but you basically, you have 15 seconds on each picture to click on where you think the squirrel is. And this helps give the researchers a sense of how well can these squirrels hide, how well can they camouflage in these environments, and is there a difference in spotting gray squirrels and black squirrels in these different environments. So a really fun game and also a way to help out the scientists.
So one thing I did want to point out, you can find projects anywhere. You can find them all in New England. You can find it at Mass Audubon. Nature Groupie is specifically for New Hampshire. There's the Connecticut Portal of Wildlife Division that actually has certain ones that are highlighted, and then even Acadia National Park up in Maine. And the really nice thing is, when you're going on these, you'll actually be able to see sometimes the data will be collected, and then it actually turns into a paper, and you'll actually see the paper linked to it, to these. So we can, when you see the complete ones, you actually see that your data is actually being used to solve a problem or help the environment or help population for a problem that they're trying to solve. There's also, next slide. And then globally, there's actually projects you can find that are UK based, like such as Opal, the Citizen Science Global Partnership. So you can actually find projects over in Finland, Africa, Asia, South, various islands, South America, everywhere. So they're all over. There's SafeCast in Japan. and CitySci, which also has a really great map where you can actually plug in and see where the projects are. And many of these, you don't even have to be there. If you are, you can do it local, but if not, you can always take pictures of images. The other thing that is, if you like certain ones that maybe, because I realized a lot of the ones we were highlighting are using the phone and images outside, but if you really are into building things, there's also projects that will involve using recycled products. For example, one I didn't highlight was actually a mosquito. We had to build a mosquito trapper using a recycled 2-liter soda bottle. So you're actually building a little project, and then you actually put it out. They showed you what kind of bait to put in, and actually the mosquitoes would fly in. You would take a picture of the mosquitoes that ended up on the paper towel that had the bait on it, and that way you could identify, and they were trying to figure out which what invasive mosquitoes were going and where they were found. So it actually was used for mapping, and there's actually a paper about that you can find in PubMed. And some other great ones, if you like, maybe you like looking at, there's another one from NASA that was really great that you could actually take they took pictures of the different solar systems, and people were classifying them as disc-like, or if they were spiral, or if the different types of solar systems. And I don't know if you are familiar, but with the news, there's actually recently 2 girls that actually found an asteroid that's going past the Earth right now, all in one of these citizen science projects. And some other really great ones, National Geographic has the citizen science projects, and the Smithsonian. If you like history, there's actually a project with the Smithsonian that's actually looking at documents from the 1800s regarding basically the racial that's actually going on right now, and they're actually helping classify and interpret and basically putting in the words for the translating basically the documents from into so it's better able to be found and classifying, so that these pictures will then be able to be highlighted and pulled up and used in different projects. Next slide.
All right, and so we want you to tell us what you've been working on. So if you came to the transcription session, you'll be familiar with the Padlet for this. So if you're working on a transcription project or a citizen science project, put it on the Padlet. So take a screenshot of your work, or if you're outside, you can take a picture of yourself working on the project. However you want to show a little bit of the work you did, and make a note of how much time you've spent working on this project, and you put it up on the Padlet. And I think you have about a week to do this. So the Frontiers program wants you to get your community service done within the next week. So you have a week to find a project, get involved, and share an image record of how much time you spent on it. So any questions?
Yep, we're here, we can help you, and we'll be happy to help you find something.
So we are, like we said, research and instruction librarians. So our job is to help people find information. So if you are having trouble finding a project that you can access, that you're interested in, send us an email and we can help you find something either online or in your area that you can get involved in.
And you should be able to find something, whether if it's too hot out, you can do something online. Or if you like building, you can find building. If you like being outside, if you're going on vacation, wherever in the world you are, you'll be able to find something and really help and have a little bit of fun doing it. And checking if there's any questions in the chat, but I don't see anything.
If anything comes up afterwards, like I said, feel free to email us and we will send you the slides and the recording from today's session.
And hopefully we did not break up too much.
There are no questions. I might pause the recording now.
Oh,
Or go ahead.
yeah. I was just kind of wondering, uh, what do you think is the coolest place or the coolest aspect of the library?
Oh, coolest aspect of the library. I think the coolest place is the archives, because that's where all the old stuff is. All the old documents related to WPI's history. I think that's my favorite place in the library. And they are also doing some transcription projects, so digitizing their documents and typing them up so that people can find and search them more easily. So I think that's what I think is coolest. I don't know, what about you, Karen?
That is a really good point of what but the other thing is also the people going in, and we're always here to help. We love, that's the whole reason we're there, and we're always there for questions. We love helping find things, and no question or no is too out of this world. We will find it, and it's actually fun for us to find these things. And we don't want to see you struggling, so send us, you can get in touch with us with the online. You can go right to the library website. There's a little chat where you can actually do immediate questions. We have videos on like how to search different things, but we have email, and then just finding the books and looking at all the different things. It's just but seriously, it's the people coming in. We just want to help.
And most of us aren't currently in the building, obviously, but we still are working from home. We are still answering questions. Like Karen said, we can help you out over email, over chat, over Zoom. So we are still here to help you find resources. And in addition to archival materials and print books, we have so many online resources that we can help you navigate and find information about whatever topic you're interested in.
Yeah, and you can read books, magazines, newspapers, all online, and even if you're not tech savvy, we recently had a question came in where a person actually mailed us a question about, and we actually ended up finding the research, printing out a couple documents, and literally mailing them by snail mail, because that's what they wanted, back to them. So we'll try and answer the question any way you want, online, immediately through the chat. You can always set up a Zoom meeting, and we'll help you find whatever it is. And we really hope you find a really great project for citizen science, because they're a lot of fun.
Thanks for the question. Any other questions?
Well, feel free to send it to by email or chat or any way you'd like.
And thank you for joining us today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paige and Karen. From the Office of Pre-Collegiate Outreach Programs, we're super excited. And thank you so much for joining us this Saturday and sharing this opportunity with our participants. All of the information shared today will be available on the Canvas site. So we will be making that public for you all to access. And like Paige shared a little bit earlier on, folks have about a week from today to sort of get started on their project and share out to receive community service credit from WPI, so you can record those for hours for your individual high schools. So please be sure to check out Canvas later on today, and I hope you all have fun with your projects. Thank you so much for hosting this again. Thank you.
Thank you very much.